Caviar. The stuff I've eaten before tastes like fishy and stinky. That is just amazing.
Recently, I tasted the caviar just by itself, and I wasn't really that fond of it. But you get everything on there. Yeah, it just goes together. I don't think any of you had the same this morning. Do you have any idea what it is? Scott, please, don't be upset with me. You want everybody to be upset with yourselves. So, the fondue was a spray cheese. The kebab, bruschetta, was a TV dinner. My catfish, the fake caviar. You got a bunch of buy it. Ed, you want to kill yourself? Take some fake caviar. No, no, no.
I was taking it seriously, and then he's like, haha, it was catfish, hot dogs, cheese in a can, and a TV dinner. Haha. It's embarrassing.
Pete. No, no, no. Ed, no, no. I bet it tastes good. It's made out of hot dogs. Hot dogs are slamming. Now I know where we are. You all have talents like cows' backsides, and we have got some work to do.
So I went busy.
Good day, my brother pranked me, so I'm gonna get him back. I have this prank card, and I'm gonna tell him it's his report card. Bro, come here.
Yeah, what's up?
Look, I got your report card.
Oh my god, okay, no way.
It's a prank. That's not your report card. It's a prank call. Good day, my brother pranked me, so I'm gonna get him back.
The rest of the meat, the couscous.
Yeah. You always choose well. Couscous sounds good.
You come from? Oh, you come from? Hi. Where the fuck does he come from?
That I started. So here it goes. We have the gold, the Stanley Cup. You win, first place. You get the gold, you get the Stanley Cup, you get the pennant. You get the Super Bowl. But in basketball, for some reason, I really didn't do my due diligence and research, but they call it the Walter A. Larry O'Brien Trophy, if I got that right. Another thing I wanted to mention is that there's 5 days to the week, 2 days to the weekend. The JG in French is exchange 10 and 7 for, you can say, I like to use just 10 and 7 created from 5 and 2. Anyways, you have the week end, which is connected as 2 days, right? But it's connected as 6 days to 1 day, and then 1 day to 6 days, and then so on. So we'll connect it this way as 2, and we'll end up with, how would we do that? 6, 2, 6. It's a little weird saying it, 626, when it was actually 6 days and 1 day, and then 1 day and 6 days, and that would be 6 and 6. But it's, looking at it this way, you're just putting these two together, and you have 6 before and 6 after. Oh yes, because I'm dislocating this over here. It's 6 days to 1 day and 1 day to 6 days, but the next 6 days is going to fall into this 1 day, and this 6 days is starting in this day over here. So do you follow what I'm saying? It's 6 days to get to your Saturday, and it's 1 day to get back to your Sunday. So here's to get to Saturday, and then this one's to get till Sunday, and then the in-between one is Saturday and Sunday. Do you follow what I'm saying? So we started that 1 day in this 6 day is actually a Sunday, and that 1 day in this 6 day is actually a Saturday. So there's different ways to look at this. So let me continue on with the calculation that we were going here. So we have the quarterfinals, which will have 4 teams, 2 teams playing 2 teams. There's 4 teams, so there's here and here and here and here. Each one gets a cube, so that's 4 cubes for the West. and then here, and 4 cubes for the east. So you have a total of 8 cubes. 4 times the minimum 2 equals 8. 4 times the maximum 64 equals 256 memory. And then you have 4 times 2 again equals to 8. And then 4 times 64 equals 256 memory. So what we're breaking down is how the circuitry would be going. I'm not really sure which way we're going, but we're narrowing things down. And before I go on, I started something that I didn't explain to you. First of all, this is in between the 4 sextors, joining them. But we only get to live the true reality in only one of the other 3. And maybe that might be the union to the leap year. Do you understand that 80? That's in French. This is the scenario. 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4. But the 3 over here is made up of 12. The 3 over here is just 3. 1 and 2 is 3. The 4 over here, the 10, 11, 12, sorry, this should have been 13. 1 and 3 is 4, and the 4 over here, but it's this side and that side as you travel across. We're not going to get into this, but there's a piece on here I have to finish a little later on. Okay, I'm just going to add this into the video, and what this is it's your numeric location, in which, like here would be 79, so what would you see next? This would be 97. 9 and 7, 16, 1 and 6 is 7. So over here you would have 16 and 16. Over here you would have 25 and 25, 7 and 7. Over here you'd have 34 and 34, 7 and 7. So this is how the fashion of numbers separate. In between 3 and 4 and 1 and 6 would be fashionably 2 and 5. I'm going to put this up. I'm not sure if you notice that I have postings in the group that I can now share with you, commentary in a post page. I'm going to try and show it to you a little bit later, but this is how these numbers work. So this whole section is about number 7. I just reflected it over and over because nothing is prime, and whatever is prime will be like in the center over here. What would be in the center of 79, 79? 16, 1 and 6 is 7, of course, would be 88. Not going to explain to you what this is at the moment. But you do notice that on each side of 6, here's your 5 and here's your 7. 5 and 4, dividing the gateway between the sun right over here. 5, 6, 7, the average is 6, 6, 6. The reverse is 1, 3, 2. That is your reverse. 1, 3, 2, 12, and 11, 23, 24. And the average over here would be 8. 24 divided by 3. 5, 6, 7. 18 divided by 3. 6 and 8. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4. Creating the division between the planet and the house. The planet house. Both numerics are the same. And it comes from the dice cube. Because on the dice cube, the opposite of 6. Let me see if I can get this over here. The opposite of that, when I pick up the dice, show you the other side, it's going to be 8. 2 and 4, reverse to 5 and 3. It's a really long video, a little bit too long. I have not even finished with the not even finished with my you're probably even lost. I'm even lost in this video. I'll probably redo it. This is my backgammon dice cube. So we have the 4 teams that have played here in the quarterfinals, and then there's only going to be 2 teams and 2 teams that'll play together, and 2 teams and 2 teams that'll play together. And the result of these teams will be 1 team and 1 team, okay, which will be, and then you'll have 2 teams come together in the finals. So when you do that, you have 4, 8. So you have 8 cubes. Then you have to the semifinals, you have 2 teams here, 2 team result here, 2 teams result here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you're going to have 4 cubes. So now you're going to end up with 2 and 2, 1 and 1. They'll play each other, this 1 and 1, and they'll end up here. So you'll have 1 cube, and then you'll have 1 cube, 2 cubes, and then you'll have 1 cube. So this will be the breakdown, okay, of the backgammon cube. So here you have 16. Here you have 8. That is the minimum. The doubles dice. See, I really don't know what the doubles dice does other than doubling and how you do it. But I'm just talking about the values. You do notice that we did this right at the beginning. 6 times, 6 plus. One is a Roman numeral, one is a placement in the alphabet. This one will end up to be 1, this will be this, and that will be the same thing as 1 and 6 on the regular cube.
So pretty.
So I'm going to leave this at that. So we did notice that the bronze was number 80, the silver was number 85, and the gold was number 38. And we're not going to get into that. I'm not going to talk about anything about that. These are all the things that just came off the top of my head right now, and I just wanted to get it out there to see what comes about. There's a whole bunch of realities, of obligations that have happened, and they're continuously happening, shown to us through sporting events. And this is, I use this terminology using the backgammon dice, as during a game, what happens is the odds makers are constantly changing the odds so they can have people continuously, whether they can have whatever the reason is, people continuously bet on the game as the game going on, and they have to equalize both sides, so that all they keep making is the VIG. All they keep making is the VIG, Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for watching this video.